A very good morning. Hope you had a fantastic weekend and welcome back. It's Monday and another daily market outlook. Starting off with EURUSD. So EURUSD is currently inside of this area of demand. If we look at the overall market structure, first of all, in EURUSD, we can obviously see that we're still bullish in towards the highs with a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, and now potentially we're going to see a higher low over here. However, we don't just trade market structure, we also look at supply and demand. And now based on supply and demand, you can say that this entire sell for this buy in towards the highs was your area of demand. We tapped in towards that area of demand, and from there we saw a shift in the overall market structure. Hence why last week I was looking for a potential long from this area of demand on EURUSD, but zero bullish intentions at all. What happened is that we moved down lower in towards that area of demand, and hence have now seen a, let's call it an internal trend shift over here by breaking the low. So at the moment it does look bearish internally from that high in towards this low, but what I'll be looking for today and tomorrow is kind of like a push back up in towards the highs. The overall market structure, if we look at it mechanically, is bullish from this low in towards this high, but now what we in fact need for us to understand, okay, are we now going to move up higher, is for that internal structure to shift as well. However, for that internal structure to shift, we would have to wait for this high to go over here. So that would take a lot of time and we would miss out on this entire leg up. So what I'll be doing is I'll be looking at the 15-minute time frame. For now, I definitely do expect some further upside. What I'll be doing is I'll be checking out the 15-minute time frame to see, okay, coming in towards, let's say, this entire buy before the sell over here. So this area of supply that we have on our chart over here, will we then see inside of that area of supply an overall trend shift? Okay, then there's some confirmation for further downside, or will we see just the 50-minute remain bullish and higher highs and higher lows? Well, then I'll be looking for continuous longs further in towards the highs. So that's going to be my game plan for EURUSD. Going in towards the 15-minute time frame, then what can we see over here? Well, what we had was a bearish market on the 15 time frame. Well, we did in fact flip bullish, so what happened was over here bearish, and then we broke this high over here. So pretty much you're looking for longs at that stage from, let's say, this area of demand over here, but no real overall structural shift, just remains bearish, and you can see we just tank absolutely in towards the downside. So this over here was your 50-minute BOS line. Now what does this mean? It means that you're bearish on the 15 from this high in towards this low. Overall, what has now happened is that we've kind of have some internal structure. This over here is not a swing structure at all. It's like this low and this high over here. So what's happening pretty much is that you get the push down, you get the pullback, you get the push down, boom, market structural shift, you get a pullback, and now pretty much what is happening is that we're moving sideways. Obviously it's still Monday, so volume is still a little bit low, but we're going to be looking for that further upside move and that 50-minute trend continuation in towards the highs, back up in towards these 50-minute areas of supply. So that's what I'll be looking for today. I'm going to be looking for longs on Monday and Tuesday for sure, see if that 50-minute trend can continue. If the 50-minute trend does not continue, what we'll be looking for is a short, and that means pretty much that what will happen is that this area of demand will fill, and then we'll just follow the overall trend down lower. So that's the game plan on EUR/dollar. Moving on in towards the dollar index. So on the dollar index, we've been pushing up higher. Obviously this over here is your swing high, this over here is your swing low. Been looking for a reversal from this area of supply, so still some further upside possibilities on the dollar index, over here, before looking for that further downside. That is what I prefer. Overall, this is like as well a fair value gap, so we could also just start reversing from here. Depends on if we start breaking this low, that is when I have my confirmation, okay, we're going to start moving back down towards here. But preferably I would like to see one more push up in towards that area of supply, and then for example that sell-off. Now going on in towards Aussie dollar, what can we see on this pair? So Aussie dollar over here on the 4-hour time frame, pretty much still bullish. I mean, we've now pushed down lower in towards this area of demand over here. We pretty much broke through it. At the moment, what I'm looking at is this area of supply to hold. If the area of supply does not hold, I'll be looking at this area of supply over here. So that's what I got my eyes on at the moment. Let's say we move back up in towards the supply zone over here, keep an eye on the 15, and then boom, sell off in towards this overall sell for the buy. If we break that area of supply, then look for a long back up in towards this supply zone over here. So that's what I'll be doing. Keep an eye on the 15-minute time frame then, and you will see that we have some nice market structure over here to play with. And what we'll be doing is we'll be monitoring how we can trade an overall pullback if we do start breaking the highs overall. So at the moment, this is like the overall market structure. So low, lower low, and then a lower low over here. So this over here is currently your swing high. If we break that swing high, I will be looking for longs and targeting definitely at least this high over here with a lot of liquidity resting above these highs over here. If we, for example, break this low again, then just look to short continuously further in towards the downside, back in towards that 4-hour area of demand, which I just mentioned. So now moving on in towards pound dollar, what can we see on this pair? So pound dollar overall has been moving lower in line with the overall order flow. Now what you can see is that we're starting to consolidate over here, some very ugly price action due to the fact that we have ugly price action here as well. So pound dollar is not my favorite at the moment. Definitely there is some potential for further upside, guys. Last week I did mention I was looking for the downside, so we did indeed see further downside play out. What I'll now be looking for to see is, okay, when will the 4-hour shift in momentum? Are we going to start breaking these highs over here? Then we have some change of characters. Then definitely I will be looking for further upside, at least in towards here. Do we break that area of supply? Then look for even more upside. If we respect this area of supply over here and we see a bearish change in structure, then again we will look for downside. At the moment, if you look at it very mechanically, what you can see is that over here you had a change of character. Excuse me. Then again over here you had a change of character, bearish. So this currently is your supply zone over here, which should push price further in towards the downside if it wants to move. That's why I'm saying if we break these highs, we get a change in fractal structure, and we'll be looking for a long back up in towards this supply zone. Depending on how we react to that supply zone, will we then see further downside, or will we just wait for further upside? It's all dependent on how we react to that area of supply. Now moving on in towards NZDUSD, what can we see on this pair? So NZDUSD on the 4-hour here, inside demand at the moment. So there is definitely still some potential for this pair to move up higher. We have an area of demand over here, so keep an eye on that pair. At the moment, what I'll be looking for to see is that we have, and we don't actually have any change of character low over here, because we've continuously been making lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low, lower low. But by the way, this is why I love doing this, because you have to be very precise. Over here we had a change of character. Then what happens is that we get a bullish change of character, and then this morning what did we see? We saw a reaction to this area of demand, so expecting some further upside as we tapped in towards this demand zone and saw a change of character. So there is definitely still some room for NZDUSD to move up higher from here. Do keep in mind though, it is Monday, so low volume, but it does look good to start moving up higher and pushing up higher from where we are currently situated. I would be looking to set my stop loss maybe a little bit wider and swinging it back up at least in towards this area over here, for example. So that's what I'll be monitoring on NZDUSD. Maybe some entries on the 15-minute time frame, getting some better stop loss placement. So keep an eye on NZDUSD. Maybe just wait for kind of like the double break over here. Wait for this break of this high and then look for that long if you want some more certainty inside of your position, or wait, for example, for this demand zone over here to get hit instead of this entire sell for the buy range. Going in towards gold. Gold was a very beautiful one last week. What happened? Going in towards the 4-hour time frame is that we have been reacting to the overall order flow very beautifully. So first we reacted to this area of supply over here, this buy before the sell-off. We came back in, sold back off. Then again over here, consolidation, buy before the sell, come back in and move back in towards the downside. So still looking for further corrections on gold for this week, as long as the overall order flow sustains its bearish momentum. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Wish you all a fantastic day, and we will speak soon. Thanks.